welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7.
And welcome into Sheriff Talk here on KWN. And we're joined with a couple of law enforcement officials in the tri-state area. We welcome Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross and Sergeant Baker. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Well, Bo was here last week, and he done the whole program, and he had your back. You had something going on last week, couldn't be here.
Yeah, I was busy last week. I can't remember what it was, but I guess I'll take up for him this week.
That's right. He said a tad under the weather this morning. We talked with him. Hope he's doing better. And depending on when you're watching the program, he may be perfectly fine. He just didn't feel. I think the spring colds and all this warm weather and cold weather, it's not.
Yeah, a lot of allergies are kicking in this time of year also.
Yeah, it's starting to do that. I know I was at one of our sponsors on the side of the mountain, Bethune's Garden Center, and they already had a couple of weeks ago. We already had onion sets and cabbage and all of that stuff, and I'm going, wow, it's already here.
Yeah, I think people are looking forward to it too.
I think so. You know, so far, you know, of course, this is wood. I guess we don't need to knock on it. People hear us knocking, but we haven't had a tremendously bad winter yet. But we still got March.
Yeah, it's been a wet winter. I think we've had more rain than I've seen in a while, but not a lot of real cold and snow and stuff like that. Ice.
You know, one of the things that there's a few days we went from winter storm watches and advisories to floods. I mean, we had a plethora of weather changes in like 3 days, you know. And I guess both of y'all have grew up here, and I've grown up here. And if you have grown up here in the area, we know that the weather will change. If you don't like it, just stick around.
Yeah. I tell you, yesterday and today and this past weekend it's been gorgeous, and I think that's got everybody in the spring cabin fever mode, I guess you say. Well,
I know that you may be watching this show numerous times during the week, but as we're recording and airing this show, going to be 65 today and 30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a 35-degree temperature swing in about 12 hours. So there you go. And we are at the 1st of March for sure. Sheriff Talk is on the air, and we're glad that you've joined us today. We're going to run down on several of the news stories that are happening in law enforcement around the area. Mike's going to do that in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk. It's Election Day. We'll just talk briefly about that because many of you may be watching after the election. And then we're going to got qualifying coming up here in the state of Georgia next week for the local primaries. We'll break that down just a little bit. We'll also talk about other things that are happening in law enforcement around the tri-state area. So just sit back. We thank you for joining us. This is Sheriff Talk, and we'll be right back after this.
BBS Wholesale and Salvage Grocery is now open in Higdon. We've got paper products, canned goods, health and beauty aids, cereal, and even some items available by the case. Everything is at or way below wholesale cost. Banana boxes full of snacks, including candy bars, chips, cookies, all starting at $10 for $1. Laundry detergent by the gallon. Empty banana boxes for just $1. Our inventory changes every week. BBS Wholesale and Salvage Grocery in Higdon, Alabama, across from Ponders Mountain Pharmacy. Open Wednesday through Friday 10 to 6 and Saturday 11 till 3. Romans Mobile Homes can help make the dream of home ownership come true. Come by and see our on-the-line selection of manufactured homes, or sit down with us and let us custom design your top-of-the-line constructed manufactured home. With names like Cabco and Clayton, we can design anything from 1 to 6 bedrooms, shingle or metal roof, finished drywall, and more. All our homes come with central heat and air, including a heat pump. Financing available, and prices include delivery and setup. See us today at Romans Mobile Homes, 2019 Highway 136 West, just west of the four-way stop, top of Sand Mountain. 706-657-8807. Romans Mobile Homes. Methamphetamine affects everyone, your neighbors, your friends, and even your family.
Know the signs.
Physical symptoms include you may have extreme difficulty sleeping and even insomnia, and you may lose your appetite.
Know the signs. Please know the signs.
You can seem nervous and anxious and even have paranoia.
Know the signs.
Overheat easily and sweat without even being hot.
Know the signs.
Dilated pupils and even hair loss.
Know the signs.
Hallucinations and delusions. And you can also have tachycardia, which is a rapid heart rate.
Know the signs.
You may have liver damage and loss of skin elasticity.
Know the signs.
You may notice unexplained financial instability and social isolation.
Know the signs.
You may have a false sense of euphoria coupled with strong depression and even risky behavior, legal trouble, memory loss, and repeated incarceration.
Please know the signs. Unfortunately, we do.
Doing your taxes yourself is just not a good idea, especially with changes in the Affordable Care Act and college tax implications. Nancy Anderton at NL Tax and Bookkeeping has been serving the Tri-State area since 1978. Let NL Tax and Bookkeeping use their knowledge and expertise to get you the correct refund fast. Ask about direct deposit and fast returns. NL Tax and Bookkeeping is open 8:30 to 6 Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, and 8:30 to 2 Eastern on Saturday. 500 Alabama Highway 73, 7 miles from downtown Trenton. Call today at 657-4758 or 597-2829. Friend us on Facebook at NL Tax for the latest tax information. Dobbins Supermarket, serving the community for over 70 years with fresh-cut meats, fruits and vegetables, and a full line of grocery items. Dobbins is known far and wide for their signature sausage in 4 flavors. At Dobbins Supermarket, you'll find local home folks serving the area's weekly grocery needs. Dobbins Supermarket, Highway 71 in Higdon.
This week at Dobbins, find boneless sirloin tip roast at $1.79 a pound. Fresh boneless chicken tenders at $1.99 a pound. Fryer leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 49 cents a pound. And breaded chicken fingers, $1.79 a pound. This week at Dobbins. You're watching KWN TV, the home of area high school sports. KWN, live and local TV.
Sheriff Talk continues here on KWN TV. We're talking with Sergeant Baker with the Dade County Sheriff's Department, along with Sheriff Ray Cross here of Dade County, and we're going to hopefully have a news update before we go off here. But we wanted to go in and talk a bit about, you got a brand new Sheriff's Academy that's going to be kicking off, and we want to kind of unpack that just a little bit because you've had several of these now.
We have. I think this will be our 4th one. I have checked and see. I believe it's the 4th one, Evan. I tell you, these are the people that go to these can't stop talking about them. I told a guy this morning come in and visit me. We're going to do another one. Oh, he wants to come and be part of it, and we do. We have people in past classes that come and give their testimony of how they like the class. But this class will be starting April the 5th. We're going to be doing it at the courthouse this year. We usually do it at the commission room, but we're going to be doing it at the courthouse. And it'll be 10 weeks long. Actually, 10 weeks, then we have 3 bonus classes if they go the whole 10 weeks. And, of course, those are good bonus classes that we have. But we're looking at a bigger class this year. The past few classes we had were anywhere from 15 to 30 participants. This year we're looking at close to 60, hopefully. So
one class with 60 participants.
With 60, yes. We're going to try to get 60, at least 60 in the class. So,
well, these Sheriff's Academies, and I've been to several of the classes. It's very informative. They seem like they really enjoy it, but it really gives somebody an inside view of what law enforcement's all about and the different aspects of it. And I know these classes are set out where you talk about the detective side of it. You talk about the road side of it. You talk about the civil part of it. So you kind of dissect law enforcement throughout the class.
Yeah, not only do we talk about it, they participate. We have scenarios set up. We talk about our SRO officers come in and teach a class. We take them to the firing range. We have some gun safety classes. You name it. Everything that has to do with law enforcement, we have it. And like I say, it's not only just talking about it, they get to participate.
Name some of the you said it's 10 weeks and then they get the bonus classes. So if you're out there and you're thinking about, well, I've heard y'all talk about it. We've even had some of the participants come on here and talk about some of the things that they've learned. And it's a very positive thing for the community. This next class is going to be starting when?
April the 5th.
April the 5th.
I believe that's on a Tuesday. They usually start around 6 p.m. and go to about 8 or 9, somewhere there.
So it's a couple of hours a night, 1 day a week.
1 day a week.
And then you can take the course, and you give them a little certificate at the end of it.
At the end, they usually get a certificate, and we gave, I think, T-shirts out with has Citizens Academy on it, and like I say, they just love the class.
Well, I think one of the things that they realize that they may have a preconceived notion about something that happens. Say you're on the road, and there is a methodology, that you're taught on how to conduct a traffic stop. I mean, there's a as they used to say, there's a method in the madness. And you got a specific way for safety of not only yourself, those that are surrounding you, and even for the people in the car to maintain safety and control. So that's one of the classes, to show them how to conduct a traffic stop. Able to do that, because there is some differences.
There is. Every officer, you've given the training that this is how you do it, but every officer then is going to take his way that he feels the safest, along with the policy, and it does explain to people why we do things they think. Sometimes, it's strange. I've heard people even come up to me out in the public and be like, well, why did he touches the back of my car? Why do they touch the back of my car? Well, it's just the way they're leaving their fingerprint on your vehicle. If something happened, then we know that's the car. I mean, there's a lot of ways that every officer, as the world's changing, unfortunately, it's not like it was every day where you felt safe when you did stop a car. I mean, every time you turn the news on, it's a dangerous job. Now with the gun rights the way they are with the state of Georgia, I mean, everybody can have a gun in their car, and that's the perception you have to have with everybody you come in contact with. There's probably a loaded firearm in that vehicle.
One of the best things you can do as a person that gets stopped by any law enforcement is put your hands on the steering wheel. Keep both hands visible on the steering wheel as the officer walks up, and that gives the officer a little bit of what you visualize, the fact that you see their hands. You don't have to worry about them trying to do something that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, and you just remain calm and answer all the questions.
The majority of people that get stopped by a police officer or deputy sheriff, they're good people. They do not commit crimes. They may have broke the law by speeding or something like that. But that officer, when he approaches that vehicle, he does not know, doesn't know this person, don't know who's behind the wheel. And if you have somebody that maybe just robbed a bank or something, or just robbed a convenience store, that officer doesn't know that when he approaches that vehicle. But the person that gets stopped does know that. And if they've just committed that crime, then they're going to be waiting on that police officer. So they have to use very caution when they approach that car, in every car, because they don't know who's behind the wheel. But for the most part, vehicles that our deputies stop and the police officers in the city stop are good people. And once they get up to that car and they get to interact with that person, I always tell my officers to be polite to that person as much as you can, that they'll let you. And for the majority, most of my officers are. Some officers can have a bad day just like anybody else and be in a bad mood, but I try to convince them not to be rude to the people that are stopping, because these people are most of them are law-abiding citizens, and that's the way we need to be treating them.
When you go through the Sheriff's Academy, you'll learn the techniques. You kind of break it down and show the folks that are going through the Sheriff's Academy how you do stop a vehicle. Another thing that I know that y'all teach, you talk about the school resource officers and their involvement in the schools. Break that down and kind of give them an idea. You got different type of situations where how do you as officers deal with juveniles are different than you deal with adults. And you break those down too.
We do. We have our SROs come in and teach, what their purpose is in the schools. People think that we're there to control the schools. We're not. The children there are under the school policies, and like, say, bullying, for example. There's no laws on the books about bullying, so it's not a criminal matter when that happens. That's a school issue that the school needs to take care of, not the police officers. Unless it gets into, where they may assault someone or something like that. Now, that's different. That does cross over into the crime area. But if they're bullying somebody on Facebook or talking smart to somebody. That's a school issue that the school needs to take care of. But the SROs will explain all that in these classes, and they'll do a good job of explaining it too. But we have several different, say our investigation department, when they come on and they talk about crime scenes and stuff like that, they explain, about fingerprints and about DNA and stuff like that. It's very informative. And, one of the things we first tell them in our special investigative class is, how many of you watch CSI or some of the detective shows, that crimes are not solved in an hour. It takes months, sometimes years before they're solved.
Well, and they're also, DNA has come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
It really has. The DNA into the investigations, but used to be, they didn't even take fingerprints. Well, sometimes fingerprints is not, like I say on the TV show, it's good that they solve the crime in fingerprints, but not always the case in real life.
There's some technology where we can lift fingerprints where they couldn't years ago, but it all depends on the type of material it is, and if it's been exposed to the weather and stuff like that. So the detectives will explain that in the classes. So these are good classes. They're very informative, and a lot of people say, "Well, I never knew that," and they learn this through these classes.
A lot of people are, just wanting to learn. I know that there's been some people that go through your class, these Citizens Academies, that maybe are looking for a law enforcement career,
sure,
and just want to kind of get a taste of it and see if this is something that I may want to look at. And then there's some retired folks that just say, "Hey, I'd kind of like to know what all y'all do." So you have a wide range of participants.
As a matter of fact, we've had a couple of people that went through that we've hired that once they went through this class, they wanted to become an officer, and we've hired them and they're starting out in our jail, stuff like that. And we also had some of the older people that want to join the Neighborhood Watch once they've seen how that works. So, it does give them the inspiration to move forward in law enforcement.
Absolutely. Well, it's coming up April
the 5th.
April the 5th, which is just over a month away. Right at a month away. And how can someone let you know that they want to be involved? And I tell you what, we're going to take a break. Let's take a break, because I know that there's a couple of prerequisites that you got to be able to do. You can't just let anybody come into this class. So let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue talking about the Sheriff's Academy that's going to be coming up and starting in Dade County in April. We'll have more. Sheriff Talk continues right after this.
A small bank with big service. Citizens Bank and Trust, offering a wide range of services, including online banking. Pay your bills, manage your account anytime, 24 hours a day. Your account balance is only a phone call away as well at 657-1234. Or visit our convenient locations. Lookout Mountain, Georgia, Higdon, Alabama, and our main branch on Highway 11 in Trenton. Citizens Bank and Trust, 657-5678. A community bank that believes in the community. Citizens Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Morningstar Dry Cleaners, your local dry cleaners, located at 57 Crabtree Street, right behind Dorcrisp Realty in Trenton. Morningstar Dry Cleaners offers a drop-off location for after hours and pickup service for businesses. We wash, dry, fold, iron, press, dry clean, and yes, we do alterations too. Now under new ownership, Morningstar Dry Cleaners. Open until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday for your convenience. Call them today, 657-3685. Morningstar Dry Cleaners on Crabtree Street, right behind Dorcrisp Realty in Trenton.
At Gross Furniture in Trenton, Georgia, you get the savings, the selection, and the satisfaction of getting the furniture you deserve at the prices you want. Come in, relax, and take your time. Our staff can assist you with the entire process, from expert advice to professional delivery. That's because Gross Furniture is local and treats you with honesty. Just north of the Courthouse Square on Highway 11 in Trenton. Gross Furniture, the home furnishing store that offers you more.
Last year, I didn't go to H&R Block. But this year, I can go to Block and pay half what I pay my other guy. You can switch to Block and pay half too. Half price is a better price when you think about it. So follow us. We're going to H&R Block.
Switch to Block and pay half.
Paul
Paul Belcher presents the original Battle of Songs, Saturday, March 5th, 6:30 p.m. at the Memorial Auditorium in Chattanooga, Tennessee, featuring the McCameys, the Primitive Quartet, the Inspirations, and the Greasons. Tickets on sale now at the Sunshine Christian Bookstore in Fort Oglethorpe, at the Memorial Auditorium box office, or by phone at 1-800-514-3849. Paul Belcher presents the original Battle of Songs. For all the details, visit paulbelcherconcerts.com.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College wants to help put you to work. Our programs in business, health, industrial, and public service will train you for the jobs available today. GNTC offers schedules in day, evening, and online classes at 5 campus locations with financial aid options too. You are sure to find a career path that works for you with our variety of degrees, diplomas, and certificates available. Visit us in person or on the web at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Your career begins here.
Join us for the Marion County Messenger in prime time, Monday nights at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right here on KWN-TV.
Continuing on with Sheriff Talk, glad to have you along with us here on KWN-TV as we continue. We're talking about a academy that's coming up for the folks in Dade County who would like to go. Sheriff says there's going to be about 60 slots that are open, and there is a prerequisite.
There is. One of the things, you have to be 18 to attend the class, and also I think we're requiring a valid driver's license, and they have to have a background check ran.
You know, explain a little bit about a background check and why that you would want a background check for somebody that would attend.
Yeah, the reason we do that is because we can't have convicted felons going through it that have been convicted of crimes that are serious, and then want to know about how law enforcement works and stuff. So we just don't do that. No law enforcement agencies that I know of do that. They won't accept anybody that's been convicted of a felony, but that's what we're checking for. Just make sure there's no serious crimes in their past, and once they pass the background check and they're of age and have that license, then they're permitted to join the class. And that's what they need to do. Just come by the sheriff's office and pick up an application, or give us a phone call at 706-657-3233, and we can mail them an application, or I think we might even go online and get it offline.
All right, 657-DADE is the telephone number, and you can call and ask for, I guess, Mary Ann.
Yes, Mary Ann. Mm-hmm.
And she'll be taking your phone calls if you'd like to go ahead and get registered. It's not too early now. So if you're watching the show and if it's during regular office hours, you can give them a call and tell them you'd like to be part of the Sheriff's Academy. There's going to be 60 slots, or up to 60 slots that are available. And it filled up pretty quick before, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It fills up pretty quick. Also, we're going to be putting it out, in the paper and on your website to let people know that we're going to be having it. So that'll be coming out pretty soon.
And like I said, I've attended a few of the classes, and talking with the folks that have went through it, a lot of people really think it's a great class to be able to go. They walk away with a lot of knowledge. They walk away with a better understanding of police and and law enforcement in general. And they talk. Hopefully, this show does the same thing, but gives you an idea of the different things and the way you have to approach different things, because everything is not cookie cutter.
Right. Some of the exciting parts of it is, we take them on a tour of the jail. They love that. Get to go back and see, how we ran the jail, the kitchen, the inmates, the rec yard, everything that we do in the jail. We take them through the courthouse, and we even did a mock trial last class. We let them be the prosecuting attorneys and defense attorney, and even had one of them being the judge. And I think he dozed off during that, but they have a good time doing that. And at the end, once they go through the 10 weeks, the 3 bonus classes, one of them was we go over to the high school and we have the officers come over and we show them how we do vehicle pullovers and felony takedowns and stuff like that. Another one is they get to ride along with the officers in a ride-along program once they go through those weeks. And the third one is, can you remember, Nathan? There's a third class they get to do. It's the firing range. They get to go to the firing range, and we let them shoot weapons and stuff.
Speaking of firing range, I want to ask you, Officer Sergeant Baker there was talking about answering a call this week about shots being fired, and the firing range for the for your training facility, y'all share it with the city, is over on Back Valley Road.
Yes.
But and if you haven't been around for a long time in this area, but on down where the dump used to be, or the landfill, you answered a call there this week.
Yesterday evening, somebody had called. They saw some, what they said, it was young juveniles out with guns, and saw them going up into I believe it's still county property, up in the landfill, and heard shots fired, and it had them concerned. But it's going to be the 4-H through the school. They're going to be up there doing their shotgun. I guess it's going to be where they're training, maybe some competition. So if you live in the Back Valley area, down around the what's known as the old landfill, where the big fence is at and the curve, there's nothing wrong. It's going to be the school with 4-H, and they have adults supervision up there that I spoke to yesterday.
That's one of the competitions that 4-H puts on. They used to do the 410 rifles when I was in school years ago. We used to, we still kid people, and they look at you funny when you say, well, yeah, we used to carry our rifles on the bus with us to school. Now you had to go ahead and tell them you had to leave it with the bus driver up front. You couldn't carry, So
times changed.
They have changed, because of that because 4-H does do those competitions, and and teaches kids how to safely use the firearms and the competitions like that. So that's where they're doing their competition shooting, is over on Back Valley Road. So if like I say, if you hear that, if you live in that area, go ahead and call. But I mean, just because who knows what it would be,
If we get a call like that and we know what's going on, then we let dispatch know that if something happens, or if they start receiving calls, they'll tell the callers what's going on, that we've already checked it out.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. The Citizen Academy is coming up in April, and if you really want to put 10 weeks on Tuesday night, will they all be on Tuesday?
The majority of them be on Tuesday night, yes.
So if you don't have anything to do on Tuesday and you'd like to get some better understanding about law enforcement here in Georgia and in Dade County, it would be a great class to attend. Prerequisites once again.
They have to be 18 years of age, possess a driver's license, and have a background check ran.
All right. Well, that sounds good. April the 5th will be the first Tuesday night. Call 657-DADE, 657-3233. You're watching Sheriff Talk. Get another break, and we'll continue with the program right after this.
HVAC repair and service you can count on from S&S Service Company, a locally owned and operated business that uses high-quality materials on every job. Call on our crews for regular maintenance, minor repairs, and new installations. Spurgeon is a name that's been trusted for decades, so if you need an energy-efficient HVAC system, we've got you covered with Arco Air products. Arco Air and S&S Service Company, enduring performance. S&S is fully licensed and serves the Northeast Alabama and surrounding area. Call 256-632-2500 today for S&S Service Company for your HVAC needs. Online at snsservicecompany.com. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. At 402 North Cedar Avenue in South Pittsburgh, 4765 Main Street in Jasper, and at 14087 Highway 28 in Whitwell, providing the highest standard of customer services with a personal touch. Our associates can help you with personal loans, personal lines of credit, a variety of mortgage loans, and more. And we offer real-time internet banking too. See us in South Pittsburgh, Jasper, and Whitwell today. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. The Tax Clinic is now open in a new location as part of the Boss Business Center, 29490 Alabama Highway 71, right across from the ball fields at North Sand Mountain School. With over 40 years of experience, the Tax Clinic provides year-round tax and payroll services. The Tax Clinic urges you to start gathering documents so we can help you file your 2015 tax returns. The Tax Clinic, now part of the Boss Business Center, located at 29490 Alabama Highway 71. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, Saturday 10 to 2. 256-597-3829 for the Tax Clinic, taking care of whatever ails you in the tax world. Delivering top-quality health care locally, we are Northeast Alabama Health Services. With 7 locations, there's one near you. Scottsboro, Section, North Sand Mountain and Higdon, Skyline, Woodville, Fife, and Fort Payne. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and of course your private insurance. If you're unemployed, low income, or have a high copay or deductible, you may also qualify for a reduced rate office visit as low as $16. Ask about our free medication program. And ladies, you may qualify for a free or reduced rate mammogram. And cervical cancer screenings are available too. Putting your health concerns first. We're Northeast Alabama Health Services.
T's Diner, serving up homemade Southern cooking at 3525 Main Street in Jasper. It's where you'll find all your friends every day. Breakfast 5:30 till 11. At lunch, you'll find your favorite meats and vegetables served piping hot. T's Diner has something for everyone. Come on in for dinner. Pick from our complete menu, including seafood platters, catfish, hamburger, and country fried steak flakes, along with fresh vegetables. Oh, by the way, don't forget the homemade pies and cakes. T's Diner, just west of the Dollar General Store, Jasper. Open Monday through Wednesday till 2. Thursday through Saturday till 7.
When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Mr. Rooter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic. All about Dade County schools. Monday nights at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on KWN TV.
Sheriff Talk continues all around the tri-state area, a weekly program that we look into law enforcement in Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. We've been talking about the Citizens Academy with Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross and, of course, Sergeant Baker here with us. Mike's got several news stories that we've been following in the Mountain Valley Independent at discoverdade.com, and Mike's going to update us on some of the stories that we've got up now and going on this week.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much, and we'll take off right there. Of course, on the top of the paper today, the Georgia State Patrol did report a fatal accident in the New Home community over this past weekend. It did claim the life of an area man. In fact, he was from the New Home community. Corporal Andrew Gideon of Post 41 told us that he is identified as 54-year-old Kenneth P. Carroll, better known as Pat Carroll, of the New Home Loop Road area. GSP reports that Carroll most likely fell asleep at the wheel. No indication that he made any attempt to stop his vehicle, according to what Corporal Gideon told us. The same report indicates Carroll was on New Home Loop Road when he apparently drove off the road and hit a driveway culvert, sending the vehicle into a tree. Corporal Gideon said Carroll was not wearing a safety belt at the time. Moving to DeKalb County for just a moment, something that we've been following since last Thursday afternoon, and this is still an active issue at this point. Last Thursday morning, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Department got a 911 call of a possible home invasion and murder in the Kilpatrick community on County Road 997. Turns out that a woman had actually been killed at the location, apparently, and another man bound at that point in time. As of the weekend, authorities were still looking for the 2008 Dodge Caliber, blue in color. The license tag number is in the newspaper if you'd like to take a look at that. The vehicle displayed on your TV is not the vehicle they are looking for. It is a similar vehicle to that, same color, same body style. They are all the departments there are assisting each other in that. Investigators are following every lead and interviewing every witness at this point. So if you have any information that can help, you're encouraged to contact the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office at 256-845-3801. After last week's show, in fact, last Thursday here in Dade County, a couple of more drug arrests made. On the left is Juanita Taylor. She's 44 from Rising Fawn. She turned herself into the Dade County Jail for a bench warrant, was searched during her entry into the jail. Jail officers discovered she had methamphetamine hidden on her person. She was subsequently charged with possession of methamphetamine and crossing guard lines or entering the jail with those drugs. A traffic stop on Highway 301 South led to the arrest of Tia Major. She's 24 from the Guild community. That's in Marion County. You'll see her on the right there. Major was originally charged for driving on a suspended license. During the arrest, the officer discovered marijuana there. She additionally charged with possession of marijuana and having no insurance. Latest news, you can always find it online in full color at the Mountain Valley Independent at discoverdade.com. We'll have more up a little bit later on today and throughout the week. In fact, it's updated when we get those stories. Let's head back out to the desk with the sheriff, Sergeant Baker, and Evan Stone.
Thank you there, Mike. A couple of other stories. I do want to ask you a story that your department is still investigating, and that was a call to a Dugan Loop Road area last week. Just a few days ago, a 17-year-old that was unresponsive, and subsequently everybody responded, and he was taken to the hospital. But y'all are still investigating that, right?
We are. I actually went on that call myself with the deputies, and the boy was supposedly found outside the trailer. What they're saying is he was dumped off there and was under the influence of some type of drug or narcotics. When AMUS arrived, they think they started CPR, got him in AMUS, and gave him Narcan, which will reverse the effects of any kind of drugs or narcotics. Yeah. And got him back conscious and transported him to the hospital. I haven't heard the update of how he's doing, but this is an ongoing investigation to see who else was involved in this. But there was drugs found. The search warrant was obtained, and drugs were found inside the residence, and we're pursuing that at this time.
All right. Well, we wanted to update everybody. That was a thing a lot of you may have followed on the police scanners, on the scanners that day, where the 17-year-old was found in the yard there in the Sligo community on Dugan Loop. So appreciate that update.
Yeah, it's a shame, Evan. We've since then, yesterday evening, one of my deputies stopped a vehicle just across the Dade County line coming out of DeKalb County, stopped two young boys, 17 years old. One of them was 20 and the other one I think was 23, under the influence of methamphetamines. They had methamphetamines and a needle in their possession. The boy driving the vehicle stated he just shot up just a few hours before then with the methamphetamines. And they're also suspected in a burglary that's happened in DeKalb County. So I tell you, this meth problem is just a terrible thing that's affecting our youth, and we're trying everything we can to get a grip on it. I had a boy in my office today that was incarcerated that was talking to me, actually giving me a tip on another crime that's happened in another county, and I asked him about bringing drugs in this county. He said, "Oh no," he said, "they won't come into this county. The majority of them don't, because they." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because of you," talking about me, saying that they know how hard I am on drugs, and that I want to keep them out of this county. He said, for the majority, most of them are not coming in today, so that's a good sign, I hope, but we're still catching some of them that are coming in.
I know the Lookout Mountain Drug Task Force earlier this week on our morning news, we were talking the Lookout Mountain Drug Task Force, which we're a part of. We have an officer attached to that unit. They were able to, I think, arrest a couple of people out of Hickson, Tennessee, and some other folks out of Walker County that are hopefully will take a dent out of large sums of marijuana being distributed into the high schools. Is what they're hoping. That was this past few days that the Lookout Mountain Drug Task Force was involved in with that.
These drug dealers they don't care who they sell to. They don't care if it's high school students or what. They just want the money from it, and that's who we're after. We're after these big fish that are selling these drugs to these young kids and transporting it. And like I say, we're not going to stop. We're going to pursue this and then get these people put in jail or at least get them out of our county. So, the message is, if they're out here doing it, they better look out, because we're not going to stop till we get them.
All right. Well, Sheriff, I've talked about it week after week after week, and the community has to step up. Family members are going to have to step up. When you realize there's a legal activity happening within your family, especially as it relates to anything illegal, but when drugs are involved, nothing positive. I mean, Sergeant, you see it on a daily basis.
It's like some of the trustees now that's out, that you talk to them. I mean, they're out washing your car, and they'll kind of interact with you, and you'll talk to them about, what are you in here for? And let's just say, for instance, every one of them that you talk to that's on drugs or had drugs, he'll come in 6-8 months clean. One of the best guys you'll know is he's leaving out, says, "You'll never see me again."
Until, unfortunately,
3 months later, they're back, messed up. You're like, "Thought I was never going to see you again. Man, I was doing good. I got out, thought I had my life back, got around one of my old friends." That's it.
They're not their friends.
No. And you tell them when they leave, you better change your lifestyle. Your old friends, you better find new ones, because you'll be right back.
Sergeant, I'm glad you brought that up. I was on the phone yesterday. Of course, they're working on this Festival of Life that's coming up for Bobby Bradford, that just had 2 lung transplants. And I was talking to one of the entertainers, Chris McDaniel, that's going to, I think, going to be coming and playing at this festival. But I talked to him yesterday about he does programs for jails and stuff. And I talked to him about coming to our jail, and he's very involved in the Celebrate Recovery that we sponsor down here at the Trenton Ministry Center. And he's going to bring, hopefully, his band and stuff up and do a small concert for the inmates and talk to them about turning their lives around and getting off of these drugs and rehab. He does a 12-step rehab program through Celebrate Recovery that hopefully will help some of our local people staying off of these drugs. And that's part of it. You can't go back to that same environment. You got to get away from it.
Well, of course, Chris, as he tells in his concerts, he is a recovering addict and using it. Yes. He was a member of the Confederate Railroad, and he talks openly about his drug problem and how he changed his life around, and now is serving in the ministry and doing this. And he was able to break free and now uses his talent to like you say, help others.
Right, and doing a great job at it. He was telling me the testimonies yesterday of these young people that have turned around and stayed off of the drugs. So it's working, and we're going to try and see if that avenue will help with our people here in Dade County.
The best of people can get hooked. They can have their downfall. Does that make them a bad person? No. But a lot of times they'll ask for help, and they will beat it, and that's what you have to do.
Well, I think that's what the folks at home that are watching have to understand. If you know a family member that is struggling with this, because we know it's a drug and you struggle, but the best thing you can do is help them get off of it. And a lot of times the only way they can get off of it is to put them in a situation where they are incarcerated and they can't get to it. And they have no other choice except to get off of it. And they get away from those friends and those influences.
Well, a lot of families, sometimes you will talk to them one-on-one, when they were embarrassed, or they didn't want to know, or the person that is, they don't want everybody to know their business. But hey, sometimes your life is worth more than everybody knowing what's going on with you. It's not embarrassing. It's been going on for years. I'd rather see somebody get help. I don't judge people for what they've done. It's what you do with your mistakes you've made. You have to correct them.
Absolutely. Got another break coming up. Stay with us. You're watching Sheriff Talk here on KWN. Back in a moment.
If you're not currently advertising and marketing your business here on KWN TV, then you're missing out on reaching potential customers and new sales. KWN TV is proud to deliver the marketing message of dozens of great businesses in North Alabama, Southeast Tennessee, and North Georgia. We look forward to showing how affordable it is for your business to market on television. Call us today at 423-762-1475. Email at KWNTV7@yahoo.com or send us a message on Facebook at KWN News Now, and we'll get to work alerting new customers about your product and services. Contact us today and let's get started. We're KWN TV, and we're waiting to deliver your marketing message.
Everyone at Guthrie's in Trenton says thank you for 5 fabulous years. It's the 5th year anniversary celebration going on right now at Guthrie's. And right now you can log on at discoverdate.com, click on the Mountain Valley Independent. You'll find a coupon that you can present for $5 off the finger or wing bucket or the 40 or 60 count finger platter. And while you're at Guthrie's, check out super lunch specials going on right now during our 5th anniversary celebration. Thank you for 5 fabulous years at Guthrie's, Highway 136 West, next to the Dollar Tree in Trenton. Get big savings now with Tennessee Valley Net. Tennessee Valley Net's digital television, telephone service, and high-speed internet is now available in many areas of Dade County and expanding to other areas like Edgewood, Piney, Lake Hills, Sligo, and New Salem. Digital television packages are available, including over 200 channels. High-speed internet services with 30 meg upload and download available now from TVN. Residential and commercial packages are available. Call now to see if TVN is available in your neck of the woods. 706-657-4367 or visit tvn.net.
Hey, Bart, Aunt Bee don't get around as good as she used to, and she's in need of a lip chair. Well, Andy, you got a nip it in the bud. Comfort Gallery has catnapper lip chairs in stock with free delivery and setup. Catnapper reclining sofas in leather, designer fabrics, and even camouflage. Catnapper rocker recliners starting at $269. Hey Andy, I just been over to Comfort Gallery. They also have England sofas by Lazy Boy. Queen size pillow top mattress sets now $299. King size sets just $399. Is that a fact? Surprise, surprise, surprise! They now have free 1-year layaway and 6 months same as cash. And listen up, Andy. For the credit challenge, they now offer no credit check payment plans. Located in Kimball, Tennessee in the Old Hills building. That's Comfort Gallery Mattress and Furniture, open 7 days a week. Y'all go by there and see Gary.
Comfort Gallery, 780 Main Street in Kimball. Free delivery and setup, 90 days same as cash, and easy payment plans. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sunday 1 to 5. Telephone 423-837-3000.
Romans Mobile Homes can help make the dream of home ownership come true. Come by and see our on-the-line selection of manufactured homes, or sit down with us and let us custom design your top-of-the-line constructed manufactured home. With names like Cabco and Clayton, we can design anything from 1 to 6 bedrooms, shingle or metal roof, finished drywall, and more. All our homes come with central heat and air, including a heat pump. Financing available, and prices include delivery and setup. See us today at Romans Mobile Homes, 2019 Highway 136 West, just west of the four-way stop, top of Sand Mountain. 706-657-8807. Romans Mobile Homes. All the news about Jackson County with Jackson County's Chamber Chat every Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on KWN TV.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN. Welcome back. And if you've just joined us, at the beginning of the program, we talked about a Sheriff's Academy that's coming up in Dade County. We want to go back over that again before the end of the program, giving you an opportunity to know where you can get yourself signed up for that. As we go into the final segment here today, this is election week. I mean, Super Tuesday, this is the day that we're recording this program. You may be watching it on Thursday or Wednesday night or whenever, but Super Tuesday is going on, and presidential preference primary in Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama. We hope everybody's getting out to vote. Now, next week, Dade County, as well as the state of Georgia, will be going through our local and state primary qualifying week, which you've already made the announcement you're going to be qualifying next week as well.
Yeah, that's correct. Qualifying starts next week, the 7th through the 11th, next Monday through Friday. So you'll be qualifying next week. Those that are running for office, and we urge everybody that's going to run to come out and qualify.
Yeah, next week it's all week long, and whether you're going to run on the Democratic side or the Republican side, you'll be able to go and out. And for the qualifying's going to be up at the voter registration office there at the commission office is where you go and go through the process. Several things here in Dade County. I know we've got all of our. They said this is a big election year, I guess, because the presidential, you've got the sheriff and the magistrate and the coroner and the tax commissioner and the Superior Court clerk. Did I leave anybody out? And, of course, then on the commission side, you got the county executive. Did I say coroner? County executive, and as well as 2 commission districts that are open. On the school board side, you've got 3 commissions or school board seats that are going to be open. So this is what's classified as the big election, I guess.
Election year can be confusing. I had a guy this morning ask me where I go to vote for me today, and I said, well, mine's not today. This is presidential
it is
primary, so ours doesn't come up till May, and I think early voting starts May it's either 14th or 19th. I'm not sure. You can call it.
It'll be several weeks beforehand, and I don't know exactly when. We'll have all of those dates.
The election day in May is the 24th. I know that for sure, but we urge everybody to come out and early vote if they will.
Well, you got all of those different officers are going to be coming up, and they'll be qualifying coming up next week for that, and you've already made your intentions known, and I know that longtime officer Danny Ellis here in Dade County, he's also made his intentions known, and after they qualify, I'm getting something here, after both of y'all qualify and you've actually got an opponent at that point in time, you'll see a little bit less of the sheriff, not of his officers, but a little less of the sheriff probably as we go forward, because there'll be something that we'll have to do during the primary process until the election coming up in May. Is the sheriff will be here to talk about various news issues, if there's been some arrest or like you did just a second ago after we done all that news and we talked about the various things and about the people that are arrested on specific issues. He'll be here to talk about all the news that are happening with the sheriff's department. But being on for the whole time, we're getting into what the federal equal time regulations. I know your
election laws.
Mm-hmm. That's thank you.
Exactly.
And you're sitting over there. I mean, you've ran for office. You've ran for sheriff, and talking to Sergeant Baker there. So there's equal time law. So after they both qualify, then we'll have that time before that you'll be on. Hopefully every week, because hopefully there's crimes and different things you'll be talking about. But there'll be times that you'll only stay on during certain times and won't be on for the whole show like this is. Like we're doing now.
Right. Let me clear some confusion up, Evan. People ask me about who's this guy running against me. Well, Danny Ellis was a lieutenant that worked for me, and he's worked in the past for other sheriffs. But Danny came to me and told me he was interested in running for sheriff this year. And he says nothing against me. He just always wanted to run for sheriff, and he was getting a little bit older and wanted to try it. And he asked me if he could take a leave of absence, and I said, well, if you're doing this for yourself, sure you can. And I granted him, and signed a letter saying that he could take a leave of absence, and if he didn't win, he could come back to work, and if he doesn't, I'll let him come back to work. But I have nothing bad to say about Danny. He's a good guy, and he just wanted to run for sheriff, and I just want to clear that up because there's been some confusion that I fired him and I haven't. He did ask for a leave of absence, and I did grant it to him.
All right. Well, that'll be good. Now, this will take effect after qualifying is what we're talking about. So the sheriff will be here from time to time to talk about specific news issues that are concerning law enforcement in the county. Unfortunately, you can't take a leave of absence from being sheriff while you run. No. You are sheriff, and you'll have to speak to the ongoing different things that'll come up.
Well, I know that running for sheriff is part of it. I have to run. I have to politics, stuff like that. But my main concern is keeping Dade County safe. And no matter what, politics are not going to get in the way of keeping people safe. That comes first. But we're going to make sure that's done before anything.
All right, and then you'll be able to also see, and since we're talking about the sheriff's race, you'll be able to see the sheriff as well as his opponent, Officer Ellis. Y'all will be invited to different shows to talk about it on the political level. Mm-hmm. As the political process goes through. I know you're smiling over there because you remember sitting up here with these lights with several people that were running. You had several folks that you ran.
I've met a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people.
So the political process is good. It's a way that a lot of people, and since we've got just a couple more minutes, we're talking about politics here. A lot of people don't realize that I don't like telling them I'm a Republican, or I don't like to have to tell them I'm a Democrat. The process like today, and I'll use the presidential preference primary that we've got, there is actually 2 elections going on today. It just happens to be held on one day. Both the Democrats and the Republican Party are trying to narrow down their field of who they want to nominate to run in the general election in the fall. So by very nature of that, you've got to be able to go in and say, I want to vote as a Republican, because I want to vote for these set of candidates to narrow down the Republican candidate that's going to be in the fall. And the same way on the Democratic side. Democratic side, and you keep that in mind, well, there's only 2 people on the Democratic side that's running for president. Well, yes, that is true, but you can also write in anybody. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to. You have that option to be able to write in. So it is 2 primaries that are going on one single day. And it does get confusing, and people don't understand. And then coming up in May, it'll be the same thing. We will have 2 distinct elections being held on one day to decide. The Democrats are going to decide who they want to face in the offices against the Republicans that make it through. And there's always confusion about that. And I know y'all, y'all have done it and been there and know all about it. But there's still people that'll come up to you and say, "How come I couldn't vote for you?" Well, you wasn't voting on the ticket that I'm on.
They don't
understand. I've been asked several times what I thought about the partisan part of that, and I don't agree. On a local level, I don't think that should. Democrat, Republican shouldn't matter. You want to vote for the guy that you think is going to do the best job as sheriff, and that's why I don't likely. I think it should be nonpartisan, and I wish they do that on a local level.
The Sheriff Association don't agree with you, though.
Yeah, I know they don't, but
they want to keep it partisan.
But still, I think that's the people's choice, and who they want and think to do the best job. I think that's what the people should have the choice, whether they're Democrat or Republican.
Right, they'll be able to do that. But that's what, when you go through these primaries, that's why they ask you, because you have to decide. And you can look at the ballots and say, okay, I want to vote for this slate of candidates or this slate of candidates. Yeah. And then in November, when you go to the polls, it doesn't matter who you're voting. I mean, you get to vote for the person that's been nominated by their party.
Yeah, but in the primaries, you could have a Democrat that thinks a Republican guy over here, and they can only vote one way in that primary. And that's what's so confusing about it. And they can't vote for who they want to. They have to vote their party. And that would do away with that if they would do that on a local level.
Now, and to add a little bit more, we got just a couple more minutes. There is nonpartisan, and most of your judgeships, if not all of them, I believe they're all now nonpartisan. So their name appears on both ballots. Mm-hmm. When you go to vote. Mm-hmm. And nonpartisan would be, like the probate judge and the magistrate judge and the Superior Court judges. They're all, and Supreme Court judges in Georgia are all on the.
Well, the thing about being a judge or a sheriff or whatever, you're representing the people. It doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrats. You're still their sheriff. You're still their judge or whatever. And that's why I just think it should not be on a local level.
Absolutely, but that's the difference with the primaries. Mm-hmm. I mean, the primaries are. And they used to be on different days, but for expense-wise, it's better to do it in one day because you only have to have all the polls open one day.
Right. But look at your cities, your city elections. They just have an election. They don't have Democrat or Republican. They're just
the cities are all just nonpartisan, if you will. A lot of them will declare that, hey, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat, but as far as going to there, it's all on one.
That's why it confuses a lot of people if they voted. Well, they just had a city election. Well, then what do they have an election for today? They get confused with that.
And it really gets confusing when you have primaries and runoffs and then the general, and it's just.
Can be confusing. You can have a Republican runoff and not a Democratic runoff, depending on how many
people will say, "I'm already voted." Well, you have to vote again. I'm sorry, so it does get confusing.
That's where the phrase comes in: vote early and often in Georgia, because we have a lot of different runoff opportunities and different things. Sheriff, we thank you, of course, and Sergeant, appreciate you coming. We'll see. I know, regardless if you're qualified next week, you're not going to be here next week. I know you've got something that's going to prohibit that, but we'll get Sergeant Baker or somebody else to come along and be a part of it. But did want to kind of give you an idea. So, through the primary process, the sheriff here will make appearances on this program, but it'll only be to talk about specific news events and arrests and things that have been happening that week. So, just want to let everybody know. But he'll be on other shows talking on the political side. Let Ann and Mondo, I'm sure they'll throw you, both of y'all, a few questions. Both of y'all been there and done that, though. So that'll be good. All right, we thank y'all very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we thank you for watching another edition of Sheriff Talk. We'll see you next week.
You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7.